Hi there, welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. In today's show, an update on improvement works on Marcus Garvey Drive. Plus, the 2017 Rhodes Scholar shares her story of academic achievement. And later, ignite your entrepreneurial spirit as we share with you some institutions to help you on the way. Sit back and relax for all this and more in the next half hour.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Original. We want a productive Jamaica. We are not productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, Pathway to Prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Marcus Garvey Drive, one of the main corridors into downtown Kingston, is being improved to add more lanes to allow easier flow of traffic. We took a trip over and have this update next.
Kingston remains the country's commercial mecca, and with the grand plans for the city's redevelopment, surely will come expanded business and traffic flowing in and out of a busier commercial district. So, upgrading work is underway on one of the main road corridors connecting downtown Kingston with westerly areas to ease traffic congestion for motorists.
The project is about improving the flow of traffic from east to west along Marcus Garvey Drive. Some years ago, when the Portmore Toll was constructed, a section of Marcus Garvey Drive was widened. This project is about improving from 4th Avenue, where that project had ended, up to Petron Street, which is roughly 2.4 kilometers.
A National Works Agency survey reveals that about 40,000 vehicles travel along this roadway in both directions daily. The latest improvement work, which started in March 2016, will see the targeted section of the road being upgraded from its current 4 lanes to 6. The drainage infrastructure is also being enhanced. This should significantly mitigate the likelihood of flooding caused by weather conditions. Undulations or sinking of road surface areas due to base failure is also expected to be a thing of the past.
We have improved the drainage significantly. We have widened the Tivoli Gully as well as the Shoemaker Gully. We have put in a number of new culverts. We have lifted the road in some sections by as much as 3 feet. We have put down a stabilized cement base, which is a concrete base.
Asphaltic concrete paving is being laid on top of the stabilized concrete base, making the road more durable. Realignment of a section of Marcus Garvey Drive should also see commuters having easier transition onto Harbour Street.
We are straightening that kink that's out at Water Lane, between Water Lane and Petron Street, so that persons can make a smooth transition from Marcus Garvey Drive onto Water Lane, onto Petron Street, and go about their business.
The design of the road is expected to give it a lifespan of up to 50 years, during which time no major fixing would be required.
It is of highway standard, which is the highest degree that we can go. And so it is on that basis, we are saying that the corridor will perform much better than it had been for many, many years.
Lanes going in opposite directions are being separated by a concrete median barrier. Necessary signage and road markings are also being installed. To keep pedestrians safe, sidewalks are being built on both sides of the road.
We are also going to be installing traffic signals at 6 intersections with pedestrian facilities, so pedestrians should have an easier time or easier access to get across this very busy corridor. We hope that persons will use the facilities that they are going to be provided with.
As part of the safety measures, the speed limit on Marcus Garvey Drive will remain at 50 kilometers per hour, which is in line with safety standards for roads in built-up areas. The construction is being done under the Major Infrastructure Development Program and is set to be completed by April 2017. The contractor is China Harbor Engineering Company, and the $20.5 million project is being financed through a concessionary loan from the Chinese government. The National Works Agency has oversight of the construction, which has provided work for more than 100 persons.
We have to ensure that the pavement thickness as planned is constructed. We have to ensure that the quality of the material that is planned is placed, and the quality of the workmanship.
Development of roads do drive social and economic development, and this road promises much with its improved capacity, linking the island's main commercial district, the Kingston Freeport Terminal, and the Norman Manley International Airport. The improvement should reduce traffic on the road, cut travel time, and offer other benefits that improve quality of life for persons who must use it.
No, son. A verb is an action word.
Parents need to become more involved in their children's education.
Parents are the first and in many cases the most important teachers.
Read with your children. Review their schoolwork. Visit their school.
Tapping and rapping and slapping, I said.
Nice. High five. Woo!
A good education will never decay.
Let's celebrate Jamaica to the world. Fastest man in the world. First Jamaican woman to win gold in Olympic 100-meter sprint.
An upcoming global superstar. Mouth-watering meals.
And a vibrant set of people. We are Jamaicans. Let's get together and bring back the love.
Jamaicans have been claiming their place of pride on the international stage in various areas, including academics. Over the years, young people have excelled at their education and have been proud recipients of the prestigious Rhodes Scholarship. In our next feature, the Jamaican 2017 winner of the International Scholarship shares her story.
This is Shakiba Foster, the 2017 recipient of one of the most prestigious scholarships in the world, the Rhodes Scholarship.
It's an awesome feeling, overwhelming at times.
After hours of grueling interviews, Shakiba came out on top of a field of 10 outstanding candidates to be awarded the scholarship.
Really outstanding young people, any one of whom could have been the Rhodes Scholar, and we finally chose Shakiba Foster. The fact that she is clearly very intelligent and very thoughtful. She had many thoughts about education in Jamaica, about its economic problems, the IMF program, the way forward.
The Rhodes Scholarship is tenable at the Oxford University in the United Kingdom, the oldest English-speaking university in the world, and ranked second in the 2015-2016 World University Rankings. This year, Shakiba will join 94 other students from around the world who have been awarded the scholarship to pursue studies at Oxford.
I'm grateful for the opportunity to be going off to Oxford, having that awesome opportunity to be doing more economics and MPhil in economics at Oxford.
For every year since 1904, except during the Second World War, an outstanding Jamaican has been selected to be Rhodes Scholar. Shakiba is the second graduate of St. Jago High School to join the ranks, and she remains thankful to all those who helped her excel.
My family has been a great help. I remember studying at nights and my aunts, tired but staying up with me to ensure that we got to bed together. My mother, my aunts, my friends, teachers have definitely been a great help, and so I have to say thanks to them.
To be named Rhodes Scholar, Shakiba, like her predecessors, had to display outstanding intellect, character, leadership, and commitment to service.
Other persons, when they hear Rhodes Scholars, they think, wow, bright person. But to tell you the truth, at St. Jago, I really didn't dominate in terms of academics. I had a few persons who really outdid me, did far better than I did. I pushed and I did well enough. When I got to UWI, was difficult in terms of a new environment, but I got through. As anybody else, I've had difficulties in terms of financing, in terms of family issues and so on. But I've always tried not to focus too much on the issues and just do what I need to do. Hard work and time management.
At the end of it all, Shakiba's disciplined approach paid off.
I finished my banking and finance program with the highest GPA. I actually finished my degree with the highest GPA in the entire Faculty of Social Sciences.
On completion of her BSc degree in Banking and Finance, Shakiba went on to do a Master of Science degree at the University of the West Indies, which she completed with distinction. The 2017 Rhodes Scholar is now an assistant lecturer in the Faculty of Social Sciences, a position she enjoys immensely. Despite her hectic university schedule, Shakiba has always found time to take on leadership responsibilities in her Riversdale community in St. Catherine.
Once you start doing things from early, you realize that at the end of the day you have a lot of time for other stuff. Church activities take up most of my other time.
And what are her future plans?
I'm going off to do an MPhil in economics. If I do well enough at that MPhil, I hope to go on to a DPhil in economics, which is a PhD in economics, really. After that, I want to do some more teaching. I hope to do a little bit more lecturing. And I'm just seeing where the tides take me after that. I don't have a definite plan, and I feel it's all right not to have a definite plan. It's all right to let your experiences lead you into new opportunities.
For youngsters aspiring to excel academically, the 2017 Rhodes Scholar has these words of advice.
You're not always going to be ahead, but that does not always mean you're not going to achieve anything. Some people will have it difficult, some people will have it easy, and sometimes we tend to want to have it easy like everybody else. But I've learned that difficult times normally make better persons. And so go through difficult times and just work hard, and I'm sure you'll achieve much.
If you're an aspiring Rhodes Scholar, application for the scholarship is usually open between early July and early October every year. Application forms can be downloaded from the Rhodes Trust website at www.rhodes-caribbean.com.
Excess salt in your diet increases blood pressure and contributes to kidney damage, gastric cancer, obesity, osteoporosis, and the worsening of asthma. Aim to have no more than 3 to 6 grams of salt, or half of 1 teaspoon per day. And children under 11 years of age should consume less than this. Get healthy. Reduce the salt. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service and the Ministry of Health.
Stand up and get in the race.
I can become the master of my destiny.
Step up your stride, make we work like a harder. Do it like Veronica, more than a supper.
We can rise above the challenges and shine.
Entrepreneurship, the driver of economic growth, a blueprint for prosperity, particularly in economies like ours that are seeking sustained growth. Highly successful businessmen and women usually start early and grow big. Are you young and looking to be among the new breed of business tycoons? Then this next feature is for you.
The foundations of corporate empires are usually rooted in the minds of young, bright men and women who've dared the risks of becoming entrepreneurs. First, identifying opportunities that can create wealth, products and services that are in demand, and meeting those needs with unique innovation. Planning and establishing a business is no easy task, and operating successfully for any extended period is an even tougher job. But Jamaica's youth entrepreneurship policy and strategy gives young people with good business ideas a chance to operate more thriving long-term businesses and create their own income. Youth entrepreneurship is encouraged by both public and private organizations. It is also being fostered within schools and communities to instill the business bug early. And with more young persons owning businesses, they'd be helping to drive economic development and job creation, all of which can make a difference in the lives of other people. And that explains why support has been growing in areas of financing for startup and business experience. Government over the years has established various agencies for helping the youth set up and run their businesses. The National Center for Youth Development, NCYD, for example, continues to empower youth in entrepreneurship. Both attached and unattached young people are able to benefit from access to information through the establishment of youth information centers across the island and various programs that include training. Government has partnered with organizations such as Jamaica Youth Business Trust to provide venture capital funds for persons under the age of 30, collateral requirement being only a sound business plan and a willingness to accept a mentor from the private sector. There is also the Youth Entrepreneurship Program, YEP, giving school leavers at the secondary and tertiary levels with strong entrepreneurial spirits the benefit of training and access to financing. Youths also have access to various business support services provided by the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, the premier business support organization. From the conception of a business idea, young entrepreneurs can get help through the stages of developing the business, planning, financing, starting, marketing, and growing. Indeed, the window of opportunity is open for all youths to access business support at the highest professional levels.
Nicky baby, come here. You understand, so I have to send you to your auntie so you can go to school and turn out better than me.
When I go be night time.
Piggy, come finish your work.
If you or anyone you know has been a victim of human trafficking, call 811 or 1-888-PROTECT. Be wise. Open your eyes. Spot them. Stop them. A message brought to you by the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons.
On the board this week, Knox Community College, under the auspices of the United Church in Jamaica and Cayman Islands Cobbler Campus, presents College Day under the theme Forging Forward, A New Horizon Beckons on Wednesday, March 15, 2017. Gates open at 9 a.m. Activities include displays, lectures on health and entrepreneurship, competitions, simulations, games, and much more. The Norman Manley Law School Students Association will be having their exposition and lecture in March, celebrating the life of the Right Excellent Norman Washington Manley at the Norman Manley Law School, University of the West Indies, Mona campus. The exposition will be held on Wednesday, March 29, and the lecture on Thursday, March 30, under the theme Sports and the Law, Implications for the Economic Landscape of Jamaica. And that's all for our community notices today. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-868-022 or send an email to cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
The government must be lean, efficient, and effective, doing well the things that only government should do, and removing obstacles for the private sector.
What government aims to do well over the short to medium term is facilitate accelerated economic growth and job creation in Jamaica. With a lean but well-structured budget of approximately $385.8 billion, the Ministry of Finance is helping to lay that foundation in fiscal year 2017-2018. The bulk of the ministry's recurrent expenses is to make debt servicing payments in the amount of $137.85 billion. Money is also being allocated to make pension payments to public sector workers and administer the operations of Tax Administration Jamaica and the Accountant General Department. More than $26 billion is provided for general public services. Of that amount, $10.6 billion is for contingencies, including provisions for groups that have not yet concluded wage negotiations for the 2015-2017 contract period. The allocation also allows for compensation adjustments that may arise from new wage negotiations between the government and public sector bargaining groups.
And I do look forward to the next round of negotiations, which we will settle very speedily.
Outstanding salary arrears to groups in the public health sector is also factored in the contingency funds, as are special consumption tax on fuel refund to the PCJ and costs associated with the public sector transformation program.
We need the capital expenditure to be done, projects to be implemented, jobs to be created. It's part of our growth agenda. Is part of achieving 5 and 4.
The Finance Ministry has a sizable capital budget in the 2017-2018 fiscal year, most of which comes from the Consolidated Fund. As is expected, the largest portion of that amount is to pay down on the public debt. But the Capital A budget also makes room for some important infrastructure projects, including the construction of the Falmouth Tax Office to provide improved and efficient tax services to the public. $158.48 million is provided to complete that construction and furnish the new building. The Finance Ministry is also supporting government's economic growth and job creation agenda by providing the Port Authority of Jamaica with a $1.5 billion loan to facilitate the expansion of business process outsourcing centers in Montego Bay and Portmore. And government is setting aside $500 million in contingency money to rehabilitate public infrastructure in the event of a natural disaster. Jamaica's multilateral and bilateral partners are also providing $2.5 billion to help finance capital projects in the new fiscal year. Through a loan from the Inter-American Development Bank, $1.6 billion is allocated to continue work under the Fiscal Administration Modernization Program. This year's targets include the continued modernization of tax administration, as well as the strengthening of the debt management and central treasury management systems and customs control and security.
We can't achieve 5% growth in 4 years if we don't have a customs that is responsive, that is efficient, that makes things happen.
In further support of that growth strategy, $21.67 billion is allocated to support public sector transformation within the Finance Ministry. Another $887 million will be spent on the broader strategic public sector transformation project. And $2.4 million is provided for the Jamaica Business Taxation Reform JAM Tax project, which began in February 2014 and is projected to conclude in August of this year. The objective is to improve the regulatory, institutional, and administrative framework for business taxation by reforming the tax appeal process and legislative framework.
The task to invigorate economic growth and to sustain it is urgent.
We're not talking about cutting corners. We're talking about expediting processes.
Motorists, know your rights as road users. If you're stopped by the police in a road check, the police have the right to ask for your driver's license and vehicle documents. If you don't have the documents on you, you can ask for 5 days to provide them at a convenient police station. If you don't have vehicle insurance, you can be prosecuted and face the court. If you fail to renew the registration license, the police are entitled to seize your vehicle. If the police wish to search your vehicle, they should tell you the reasonable grounds for wanting the search. If you are given a ticket, sign it only if you plan to pay the fine and not contest the charge in court. And please be reminded, children under 18 years must wear a seatbelt, even if they are seated in the back. Know your rights. Knowledge of the traffic road code makes it easier to work with the police as they do their job to make the roads safer for you and everyone else.
And that brings us to the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow. Until then, you can click online at jis.gov.jm and visit our YouTube channel to get the latest government information. Also, follow us on Twitter and Facebook and download our apps from the Google and Apple stores to stay informed. I'm Theodore Henry, reminding you to take care of your health and make every day a productive one.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.